All right, so welcome back. You're still watching Prime Morning. I'll be giving you some cheesy pizza deals later on in the show. But let's start off with the Daily Guide newspaper. Bribe sets NDC on fire. Big story, front page here, page 3 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Also, President speaks on MMDCEs and border remains shut. And on the issue of the border remaining shut, well, the President has stated that it will be shut.
He says it's unsafe to open it.
No negotiations. It is shut. He says due to public, our own safety. Gina Blaze, Ghana's outstanding envoy. A story is also here on the front page here. And KLM forced to abandon takeoff. A story that trended over the weekend as well, as a bird strike prevented a KLM Royal Dutch Airlines flight 590 from taking off from the Kotoka International Airport. Full story here on page 11 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Jumping on the back page here, there are a few sports stories. Stars will get better. Did you pledges a Stars battle Bafana today? Are you geared up for the match? How would you rate the performance of the Black Stars against Ethiopia as well? Well, Coach Sika Akono came back hard at the critics and said that, you know what, most important is that we went away with 3 points, whether you like it or not. At the end of the day, we won.
All 3 points be 3 points.
Yes, all 3 points be 3 points. 3 points be 3 points. Whether it was a Sulia or whether it was a penalty or whether it was an own goal, 3 points is 3 points. Anyway, we look forward to a better Black Stars game as well against Bafana today. And all these stories making headlines here in the Daily Guide newspaper.
All right, shall I continue with the Daily Graphic this morning? The big one in front, update on appointment of MMDCEs list out this month. And however, the president retains DCE for Akontombra. Details of this is on page 3 of the Daily Graphic this morning. GJ also goes to polls on the 3rd of October. Details of this one is also on page 16 of the Daily Graphic this morning. Now, here's this one that you need to know. Inadequate infrastructure, not an excuse to law school admission. You must have heard of persons of writing exams, entrance exams into Makola Law School, and I hear that it's as tight as a rich man getting into heaven. Very, very difficult. And details of this one is also on page 20. Now, the law school has been given an excuse that, well, it's because of inadequate infrastructure. Here's a response. Inadequate infrastructure is not an excuse to law school admission. Is on page 20 of the Daily Graphic.
Can I chip in briefly on that, especially as someone who is affected, who has been through, legal studies. I feel it is a big word is coming, like befuddling. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, and some people may target me, but I really don't care. We have a law school that basically started up the front across Africa. Rwanda, countries, many other countries, Kenya and the rest, they came to learn from us. They've expanded, and it's the same thing we're doing with medical school. We've made it this elitist ivory tower sort of thing where, it's just a small group of people, or maybe because we're black, ebony tower. And we've made it like that. It's so tight, and it's not because year in, year out, people don't qualify. It's because there are such stringent measures, unnecessarily stringent, because people qualify, but you're saying infrastructure. I know there are plans in the works, right, to boost the infrastructure, and that last year they took many more than, in previous years. But why are we still acting this antiquated? You get it? We've had how many years now since our law school was established? Decades, almost going back to the independence period, and we're still taking this small, number of lawyers. Now, here's why it is important. When you look at, just as we compare the citizen to police ratio, when you look at the citizen to lawyer ratio, and there are so many cases, that's why our cases can be in court for so long, because we don't have the legal staff, you don't have lawyers, counsel, and all that. So why are we doing this to ourselves?
Well, I really don't get it. Just asking out of ignorance, didn't Anas's issue also raise concerns about the quality of legal personnel that we have in the country?
So the thing is, well, MFI, you might want to chip in
I don't think that is the numbers that you admit. You can admit 1,000 persons, but if people really are duly qualified, they should be allowed to be qualified.
Now, let me tell you something. Back in the day, once you made it into law school, you would roll over, whatever faculty, you would roll over to the law school. That is what some of those who are now, Chief Justice and the rest, that is the system they went through. Fast forward to our system, and everything, has changed. But let me tell you how rigorous it is to even get into law school. During my time, post first degree folks, I think we were about 1,000 or more, took the entrance exam. I attended the University of Ghana for law. Took the entrance exam, They cut down to about 300. Went for the interview. They cut down to 70.
1,
you can compare that. You can compare that to Ivy League institutions in the United States. The Oxford, Cambridge, and all of that. It's not that we don't have the quality in there. It is that the systems themselves do not, allow. And there are certain things, exam leaks and all of that I don't even want to get into. In fact, this very past exam.
This one. Let
me zip it. Yeah.
Were there issues of exam leaks in there?
Happens almost every year. And I don't want to go into certain details, but if anyone out there dares me, I might have to show them.
Might be a Kennedy at this point.
And it's sad.
Who are we today?
It's very
Benjamin
sad.
Akapu.
When someone is somewhere, an ordinary person who may not have access to all this thing, who is struggling, cracking his or her brains, only to realize that obi cried here, paper not like 1 week ahead.
I know, and so this is where analysis concern is. You might think that you're putting very strict measures in place, but you're going behind these measures and rather qualifying people who haven't really sat down to read.
Because you've made it like that, so people who use ways and means every way to get it.
Ways, yes.
So in the end, you may not be getting a chunk of the right people. You'll get some of them, but some of them too are in there who don't really qualify.
And it starts from the LLB, entrance exams, to even start your degree in there.
Well, for some.
Because then they do not allow the right people to even start the journey, so that by the time they get to Makola, it's difficult for them to know which one is really qualified.
So what is the issue here? That it is too tight to enter law school?
The claim, it boils down to the infrastructure. They are telling you maybe we can guarantee you about 500 or 1,000 slots every year. What that means is you can have 3,000 people who under normal circumstances would qualify to be in law school, but we simply can't take the number. That's the bottom line. And for me, I'm sorry, it makes no sense. After how many decades of legal, structures in this country and all of that, we still leave it something like this when, in fact, we could expand it and meet the citizen to legal counsel ratio. But well, it's a debate that we can continue.
Well, yeah. Did I finish with the Daily Graphic? Nearly.
No, you didn't.
Well, here's an update on the Guinea coup. If you haven't heard, soldiers and government give conflicting account of situations. I'm not surprised because each time there's a coup d'etat, there's always conflicting accounts. Yesterday or the day before was it? Yeah, yesterday was when it happened. I find it interesting how President, shall I now call him X? No.
We can still call him president, though he's been ousted. ECOWAS is aggrieved about it. The AU, the DRC president, is also trying to. So maybe we should just call him president.
Well, it says today at 11 o'clock they're going to have a meeting, and I think everything boils down to the meeting today.
I like his posture in those videos, though. I like his posture in there.
He chuck it.
Yeah.
The military guy is speaking to him, and he just chuck it.
What I foresee is going to happen is I'm going to force him to actually
cede power.
To cede power, and because I think the amendment he's made in there for him to go for a third run is what has caused this huge problem. So they're going to force him to resign as president.
I always thought that Guinea.
So they put an ultimatum there this morning that all the ministers should appear for a meeting this morning at 11, and if you don't come, that means you are declared a rebel to the state. Yes.
Really?
So they're supposed to come.
And can we minister Albeko?
Well, I think I would go. What I didn't hear in the press release was guaranteeing the safety of the people who are going to come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was very important.
Exactly.
So I doubt if this meeting is going to happen.
But the president looks unharmed, actually. He doesn't.
Well, they dare not pay. Because now you can't, even in Afghan now, you can't act as an independent country. You'd have to still, do business with the international community. So who is Guinea to dare decide that they'll just run a military rule and break or put? I think, what's his name, Dambayo, or the name is
the coup leader.
Yeah, the leader understands this international protocol, hence the reason why they're calling for this meeting, because if they decide to stand alone, they'll probably not even have COVID vaccines to deal with for a start.
Kind of like what we've seen in Mali. But two things are of interest to me. And the first is the spate of coup d'etats across the sub-region. It's becoming scary. If you've noticed, some of these countries have had them time and again. We saw what happened even in the Ivory Coast in 2010. Not necessarily a coup d'etat, but how Laurent Gbagbo was ousted and recently cleared by the ICC.
To Gambia as well.
Exactly. recently, most recently, Mali, over
yeah.
which, you know, ECOWAS, our own president, who is head of ECOWAS, has been, you know, conferring. But the spate of coup d'etats is worrying because these things retard development. But the second bit that sometimes create problems, what you mentioned, he has had the constitution edited, altered, better word, for a third term. We saw something similar
83
in the Ivory Coast with Alassane Ouattara. And you ask yourself, why
what is it?
And you know something that is interesting? These leaders, the very things that are done to them, Condé, before he came to power, he had been imprisoned, he had been, so many things. They come, and the very things that were done to them, they come and repeat those things.
He was so frustrated when he was in opposition because he stayed decades in opposition.
Now he is frustrating people.
It's a very simple African proverb, which I just formulated, by the way, though. That's a house fly always fly in your car, even though it knows that you swat it.
All right. So they know that there are consequences to it, and still they do it.
I think I've encountered a wise African proverb that is akin to that, though. So you may not be too far off.
It's in the DNA.
Yeah,
it's in the DNA.
Wise African proverb. You know African proverbs, right? That's how they are coined. You just have to coin them. A house fly will always fly in the car, even though it knows you swat it. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I just hope that it really doesn't get out of hand. Sometimes I feel that coup d'etats that happen in recent times.
And surprisingly, the citizenry is celebrating heavily
I'm not surprised.
Yes.
Well, some people are celebrating. Well, I mean, even when Nkrumah was ousted, some people celebrated. And then Yaji Eniso.
Okay, so finally, before I put the Daily Graphic down, the Daily Graphic is reminding you that giving blood is safe, it's simple, and it saves people's lives. Why don't you get in touch? You might want to be kind and donate blood. Call this number 0277501010, 0277501010, and save a life. Today, are there any more? There's an update on Agenda 111 on page 17. I already told you.
Have they started building?
Please. Is that a question tag?
Well, they have 18 months. You know, so 18 months.
Is that rhetorical?
I'm personally managing the project.
You're personally?
Yes, I have taken it upon myself to make sure that this is done.
Have they started the project? Having they started the project? Project having started?
I promise to bring the viewers.
I'm trying to rephrase the question to see if I can answer it. This is a rhetorical question. I wasn't supposed to answer, was I?
Stop.
All right, that's it for the Daily Graphic this morning. Yep.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the Chronicle newspapers. So, how do you like your chicken? Grilled, fried?
Actually, just steamed.
Steamed. Yeah. Some even like it baked.
I'm a Ghanaian, I'll fry it.
You fry it.
Typical Ghanaian.
Grilling is healthier though. But Spirogyra infested chicken on sale.
And that story has been trending us all over the weekend. Yes.
2 suspects arrested by KMA health officials. You know, back then those things are sometimes around the gutters. The green
ones.
Oh, that green.
Yeah.
Imagine your chicken with Spirogyra on it.
Man.
And she was going to sell it to innocent people.
Wait, so this is frozen chicken and as a cocotiasi. Is that live bird?
No, I mean,
no, these are not live birds.
Chicken, but it's just that it's rotten.
Oh no!
Yes.
And this person was going to sell it, so the KMA is dealing with that issue. You know, it feeds into the Joy Clean Ghana campaign. When we went to some of these abattoirs and the rest, and the sort of insanitary conditions, the meat we eat. Ha! But Ghana for more than some of the people who cook.
Vegetables in Kwa.
Huh?
Fear that one even. Huh? That's one of my meaning.
What did you say live on television? Who did I
Vegetables in
Because the next time I see you, I'll film. It will be name and shame.
Listen me the vegetables.
Headmaster beats the hell out of student. That is also the Jachi police are investigating a case of assault against the headmaster of Jachi Pramso Senior High School in the Bosomtwe district of the Ashanti region. Check out details on page 3. I'll wrap up with this news right here. Single digits inflation must be meaningful to ordinary Ghanaians. And guess who's saying that? Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Tamale, Right Reverend Dennis Gabukari Tong. And he is saying that single digits. But how is the single digits affecting it? Recently, I think it was the Methodist Church moderator who was saying that if you criticize Agenda 111, you're a witch. So this one, if your pocket is not
Anglican what?
So this
did
is
he personally write
the Bishop
about
of the Anglican Diocese of Tamale.
Okay, did he personally write about the Anglican
the kissing
chaplain,
incident?
Yeah, the chaplain at St. Monica's.
So this is a different incident. But I don't know whether he specifically did that, but we know that the Anglican Church was very swift in coming, to respond to the issues, in even removing the gentleman from the school and all of that. So at least, but I'm sure he might have had a say somewhere in there. Oh, there's also this one. That was the story I was looking for. I'll just get to it. It's about the SIM card
registration.
Registration, but I think it's rather in the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
It's somewhere here as well.
Set to kick off in October.
Yeah, 1st of October. So you should look out for that. And also, Ghana received 1.2 doses of Moderna vaccines from the USA. It's on page 5 of the Finder. Now here's an update on the One District, One Factory. $2.1 million rubber factory opens and is on page 8 now to process 6,240 of rubber per year to export, and the president has been speaking. You still find that story on page 8 of the Finder. Now, president investors to engage at GIPC forum tomorrow. Kojo Ponkruma has been speaking. If it says tomorrow, does it mean today or it means tomorrow? We'll check that out, and if we can, we will update you. Jay, go on.
Well, thank you very much. Kufado, MPP will recapture lost Nzima seat in 2024 as it promised to improve upon infrastructure in the community as well. And the former Minister for Education under the Kufuor administration, Professor Ameya Ekunfi, also appointed the board chairman for PPA, last under the first 4 years of the president. This issue came with Anas's issue on the boss. Was it the boss of the PPA? Was it the same person? Yes, I think.
I don't quite remember.
Oh, this I think it wasn't bribery. Anyway, I can't recall. Let me just hold on that as well. But anyway, new boss in there as well. More sports stories on the back page of Daily Statesman as I read to you. 1D, 1F in steady progress as President commissions $2.1 million rubber processing plants as well. And 1 laptop for every teacher to boost ICT teaching. Now, this story was also posted by the Vice President on his Facebook page. And I just decided to go into the the comments section to read what people were saying. Quite interesting that he said no, it's not for free. He said we are paying part, so don't make it look like the government has given the teachers.
Government is paying 70%.
They are paying 30%. But the headline made it look like it's been a full dash. The comments were just interesting in there. You should just read them if you have time.
I buy it here 2/3.
70 is a near dash. Let's be kind.
Yeah, well, it depends on where you're standing and how you look at it.
Let's make it easier. Help me here, those of you who
someone said
if you have 1 CD, 70%.
Someone also wrote that, please, you are using
70% of 1 CD would be 70 pesos.
So you only pay 30 pesos.
30 pesos.
My munjaisa, we deal my idea. Oh.
You should read the comments. They're just hilarious and serious at the same time.
I've seen some of them on other platforms.
You would just laugh your head off. I just took time to say it's a whole movie on there, Mifa. It's a whole movie in there. Okay. Well, we can quickly wrap it up with a few of the papers left.
I shall do the Ghanaian Times, but usually there's a lot of entertainment scoop, I think, somewhere in the middle spread of the Daily Guide.
Yeah.
So when I'm done with this, you
save that for what's trending, though.
Okay.
Okay. So let's look at the Ghanaian Times newspaper. 5 suspected armed robbers killed at Dentra, Akwaboso. Which is a good thing. Police in Burkina Faso following murder of woman, suicide attempt by husband. But check out this one. Family banishes man, 32, from home over homosexuality.
Okay.
He is on the run for his dear life after he was disowned by his family for being gay. The whereabouts of Kamal Anas Bello, who was born into a conservative Muslim family in Ashaiman, a suburb of Accra, is still unknown. Well, you can get more details of that.
And the story of the 5 armed robbers gang down at Dentra is actually a shootout between the people and the armed robbers. It wasn't between the police and the armed robbers. So I'm wondering
that incident. Yeah, very interesting one.
I'm wondering how they got guns and,
No, but again, the proliferation of arms, especially small arms in this country, they run into the millions. I remember there was a time, I think it was the Interior Ministry running a program that if you bring your gun, all is clear, incentivizing it. People were like, yeah.
We're happy that these armed robbers are down, but we're concerned that it is the people and the community that that engaged in the shootout, which is concerned.
Mali police storm jail to free detained commander. That's on page 5. A bit of sporting news. Jay, you don't follow football much, but do you remember Frank Ribery? The Orange, the Netherlands. No, Frank Ribery was actually with the French national team. He is going to join Serie A side Salernitana. Dude's 38.
38.
He's a free agent. And you know, young Konkwan.
I'm happy he uses real age.
Quickly, so the Ghanaian publisher is giving us an update on the Eastern North seat that's vacant. However, the Speaker of Parliament says that he cannot declare that seat vacant in the chamber because it doesn't allow, the standing orders do not allow him. Even the 1992 Constitution does not allow him. The story is on page 3 of the Ghanaian publisher. You'd find it. For me, that's the interesting one here.
Well, let me also wrap up on my end here. New Crusading Guy, real quickly. You could not do for to contest Mahama in 2024? Question mark over there. Airbus scandal investigates Mahama here, and also Electoral Chem blows 3 million Ghana cedis to boost women's businesses in Ada. These are the stories on the front page of the New Crusading Guide.
Well, that would be